Welcome to the Design and Marketing Pros debate. And today we are debating 5 business website must-haves that you should have and you should really do when you're creating your business website. Now, we couldn't wait for the media to decide who was going to mediate this historic event, but today we figured it out. And so this debate is sponsored by Rowdy Ferret Design and Start Marketing Smart. I am Kandis Nelson with Start Marketing Smart, a DIY marketing tool and mindset hack for entrepreneurs, place for you to go. And that's who I am. And today we're with Rowdy Ferret Designs.
I'm Hunter Rook with Rowdy Ferret Design, and I make kick-ass websites.
That's short and sweet. I want you to know that a designer will have you think that the most important part of having a website is, the design of it. And that a pretty and usable website is what is the most important thing. Well, I'm here to tell you that nobody is going to see that pretty little website if you don't focus on the information that is there. If it doesn't connect with the audience, it's never going to hit. So I'm here to give you the unfiltered 100% real about this. And my first point to talk about with you is the experience in tech. You need to have this. Now, one of my first things that I had a problem with when I was starting with tech on my business website was I couldn't figure it out. And I would always tell people that, if there's a glitch in the system, it's because I'm in the room. And technology and me just do not get along. That was a problem. That was a mindset problem that I had. You have to know how to do certain things. It's more than just posting and that kind of thing. You have to get comfortable. You must know how to do YouTube uploads. You must know how to do blogs. You have to know all these things. So you need to get comfortable with that. And so let's hear what my opponent has to say about this.
Well, that's a good point. There can be a learning curve whenever you're starting any new thing. And if you've never made a website before, you can expect to have some frustration. Or you can hire someone who already knows how to do all that stuff. Learning code like HTML and CSS, it can be super overwhelming. It's kind of like learning a whole new language. So if you're going to DIY it, make sure you have the time and energy set aside to learn that stuff. Updating an existing site, on the other hand, you can totally do it. It's once you get the hang of it, adding pictures and changing the words, it's just as natural as changing your email. Anyone can do it. I'm a firm believer in that. You just got to hang in there and be patient with the learning curve.
Point 2. Hunter, please begin.
Well, point 2 is the money thing, because as you know, it's not cheap. And with web design especially, you get what you pay for. So there's some free hosting services out there you might have seen, like Wix, where they give you the hosting space in exchange for really obnoxious banners and pop-up ads on your site. There's also things like Elance and Fiverr out there where you can hire someone to make you a site for super duper cheap, but just buyer beware. Sometimes you get what you pay for with things like that. There can be some pitfalls. So if you're on a budget, don't go for the free and cheap thing. I'd rather you pay for a tutoring session and go the DIY route over hiring somebody inexperienced or in a totally different time zone. It can be an investment up front, but this is your project, your baby. It's worth it to put some time and energy and money into it up front, because then it's going to serve you much longer than something that doesn't work. So yeah, it's not always cheap. I've had sites built, I've made sites for people for as low as $500 and for as much as $15,000. There's a big range, but most individual sites, if you're like a therapist or something like that, it's usually in the $2,000 to $5,000 range.
Indeed. Now, my opponent will have you thinking that you're going to have to spend all this money, all you have, on a fancy site. And I want you to know that, yes, investing in your business is indeed something you're going to have to do. The truth is, you're going to need copywriting. You're going to need technical help. If you're launching something, you're going to need customer service. You might even need bots. There's different apps, there's platforms, there's legal advice, and there is the technical side of it. Who's going to do your website? If you have that technical knowledge and you do your own website, you better believe that you're going to have to spend some money on marketing. So please keep in mind that in order for things to run smoothly, they have to connect. And when you get free things, and it always doesn't provide that connection that you're going to need. So be careful on that. You definitely want to invest in your business, which brings me to my next point that my opponent most likely wasn't going to address. It is the ever present danger of minutia. Minutia is something that will take you out of the game before you even get in it. Now, a wise and very successful woman once said, if everything was perfect, you would never learn and you would never grow. That was Queen Beyonce.
Yeah.
Okay. That was Queen Beyonce that said that. And do you know that you will get caught up in minutia if you don't move forward? Because it will get caught up, because there will always be something that can be better. Okay. You need to know that don't let months or weeks turn into years, and then it'll pass by and you won't even change. Let me tell you a few things about minutia. Here's how you get past it. You want to make a list. You want to make a list of the things that the categories of things that you need to do and that you may need to learn. And then you need to break them down into tasks that can be done one by one. And then that's when you hire someone for things that you cannot do.
I think that's a really good point. Like,
thank you.
People underestimate the content, but that's the meat and bones of a website, and it can be the hardest part. You got to get your stuff together and know what your goals are, who your audience is before you even start. And that's where people like you, like the marketing geniuses, come in, and they can help you with the master plan for what the site's going to be.
Very true.
But yeah, don't underestimate how much time that takes too, just to come up with the actual words and pictures and videos for your site. And in that process, you got to not be ashamed to ask for help too. There's copywriters out there, there's marketing professionals, and there's videographers in the world for a reason. And for heaven's sake, if I see one more client come up to me with a picture that their boyfriend took of them with an iPhone 6 years ago, like, that is not a professional headshot. Like, please get yourself a professional photographer. So that's my public service announcement. But yeah, you get caught up in that stuff. And I can't tell you how many times people come up to me and say, like, I want to make this website. I have this great idea for a product, and they're just not ready yet. So you got to get all your ducks in a row and do your checklists and have that stuff pretty much figured out by the time you're ready to hire somebody like me. So we can't even get started if you don't know what you want on there.
That is very true. That is very true.
As you're starting a website, you want to do this. You want to think about your functionality and your user experience. So what do you want your customer to do when they get to your site? Is there a contact form? Is there something to buy or something to interact with? Do you want to have like one of those little chat widgets or a portfolio of your past work? Or you could have your Facebook or Instagram feed loaded in there. It's a good idea to think about this and decide on it before you decide on who's going to host your website platform, because not all platforms can do all things. And so that's really good information to take to your web designer or your marketing person and to say, like, here's what I want out of my website. Can you suggest what platform would be a good fit? You don't have to do a million hours of research on it. You just got to think about what you want. And then we can tell you what would be a good fit. Does that kind of make sense?
I hear you. I hear you. The customer journey from a marketing standpoint, think about these things. How would you want to be talked to when you show up on a website.
Mhm.
If you're looking for a particular thing and someone's website copy has an aggressive tone, do you want to stick around on that website?
Mm.
Does when your customer lands on your website, do they automatically think, yes, this is exactly what I need? They may read it, they may see it, but they automatically know, let me keep scrolling, let me keep clicking. So is it worth my time to buy it? Is it worth my money? Is there a guarantee? Is there a warranty?
Mm.
How can I find out that information? Is it hard to find details on these products? Is the checkout slow or hard or clunky to get through?
Mm.
What if I have issues? Is there good customer service? Let me tell you something. If your customer service is not together, you're going to have a hard time even converting anybody to buy any of your products. So all of these things are so important for you to address as an entrepreneur or a small business owner. You really need to address these things from a marketing and a tech point of view. When you're addressing the 5 most important things that you have when you're setting up your business website, I have some tools for you. Go to startmarketingsmart.com today and check out the tools that I have for entrepreneurs in order to DIY their marketing basics so that when they go to people like Hunter, you'll be able to get the right start on your website. Hunter?
And if you think you are ready to get started, we talked about what kind of experience with tech you need, how much you expect to invest, how you not get stuck in the minutia, and how to deal with your functionality that you need. So if you feel like you're ready to go and you have those kind of ducks in a row and you have a marketing plan, then I'd encourage you to go to rowdyferretdesign.com/book and get a free 30-minute consult where we can sit down and go through all that checklist that you've already made and see what might be a good platform for you. Because it's really an individual kind of need. So it always starts with the conversation.
This is true. And now you've only got 4 points from us on this first video. So part 1, you're going to have to come back for part 2 of the 5 business website must-haves when you start your website. So come back, join us for part 2 coming soon, and we'll see you soon.
To be continued.